Oh, you guys are back. Welcome to another exciting episode where today we will talk about The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. Guys, if you've never heard of this book, stay tuned and find out because it's going to be bam, bam, a kick ass book to talk about. Alrighty, Bookaholics, let's get right into it. Let's talk about The Shadow of the Gods, right? And this is the cover art. There we go. Now we're nice and focused. Guys, what the hell? This book is phenomenal. I gave this an easy 5 out of 5, right? So, this is my first John Gwynne book, and I will say that I'm going to read every single book that I get my hands on from him. With that said, let's talk about what the book is actually about. So I'm going to read to you guys the back cover, and it says, "When the gods fought, it was a battle so savage they destroyed themselves, leaving nothing but their bones and the broken land of Vigorith in their wake. Now, as whispers of war echo over the fjords and across the plains, fate follows in the footsteps of three warriors, a huntress on a perilous quest, a noblewoman pursuing battle fame, and a thrall seeking retribution among the mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. All three will change the course of the world as it once more falls under the shadow of the gods." Guys, that to me sounds epic. More than that, let's talk a little bit about the characters, right? So we have Orca, who is a trapper, right? With a mysterious past, and she's just trying to live a quiet life with her family, her husband, and her son. Right? We have Elvar, who is a shield maiden, and Elvar has left her life of nobility, and she's just trying to get battle fame. Right? She wants her name to be known everywhere. And we have Varg, who is a new recruit to the mercenary group called the Bloodsworn, and he's just taking like a blood oath to be a part of them. And yeah, it's a crazy compilation of characters. Even though it's only 3 point of views, there are a lot of characters involved throughout the story, and you see revenge, you see death, you see war, and all the aftermath that follows each of these events. Guys, I cannot urge you enough. Please read this book. Let's go ahead and start talking about the things that I like the most. I really enjoyed how Gwyn captures your attention to all the details that have to do with the story. Like, you start off with this family, and certain events happen that emerge you into the world, and you're like, "Holy cow, what the heck is going to happen? Are these characters going to make it through? It's just going to, lead to what I think it is." And then, bam, it doesn't. And you get even more immersed into the world. So I think definitely world building, John Gwynne gets a 5 out of 5. Fantasy elements, while at the start they're not all present, um, they're toward the latter end of the book. You start seeing a lot more fantasy or fantastical elements occurring with the magic system and whatnot. The characters are 5 out of 5 for me easily. I really enjoyed reading about Varg and his upbringing, and how he wasn't treated well, and all the way to where he is now as a member of the Bloodsworn, and what he's planning on doing with this. I felt very attached to Orca and the point of views of her perspective. I thought that I resonated a lot with some of the things that she's going through, and I thought that anybody who's part of a family would understand how she feels, and why she's made some of the decisions that she's made to take care of her husband and her son. Um, for the Shield Maiden, I thought her point of view was really good. Wasn't my favorite. I think was probably my least favorite of the three. But again, these characters have gone through so much, and she was definitely no exception. She's done great. The writing style, like I said before, this is my first John Gwynne book, and whenever I start reading about an author that I'm new to, I always get a little nervous if I'm gonna like the book or if I'm not. Because these books take a while to read, and I have to say that John Gwynne's writing for me is at like a 4 out of 5. Like, it was I really enjoyed it. It wasn't difficult to get into. I loved at the end of this book. I'm actually going to show you guys at the end of this book, since it is Norse inspired and it has a lot of vocabulary. I actually tabbed it, and there's a whole glossary of Norse like names and what they stand for, which I think was a very smart thing for Gwyn to do, since there's a lot of terminology that you might not be familiar with. So for me, that helped me out a bunch. I tabbed, and I would go back constantly trying to remember what these different terms were, what they meant. And that was very helpful. I think he does this for the second book in the series as well. So for me, the writing style 4 to 5. There wasn't much I'd change. It's just, since I was unfamiliar with the terms, this go around I had to constantly, switch back and forth, and there's a lot of terminology throughout the book. And then overall, my enjoyment, I'd have to say honestly, this is about a 4 to 5. For me, I really enjoyed going through this book. I felt attached to the characters emotionally. I wanted some of them to do better where they failed, and I understand why they did it, and it brings everything together. I love the conclusion to this book. The cliffhanger, everything is phenomenal, right? I can't wait to start the second book in the series. It's called The Hunger of the Gods. It's already out. I just haven't had time to get to it, but I can't wait to get into it. I highly recommend this book, guys. If you like Viking-inspired books, if you like Norse mythology, if you like war, if you like chaos, if you like a lot and lot of action, this is definitely a book that you should pick up. And if you're new to John Gwynne, I urge you guys to pick it up and read his books. Apparently, they're fantastic. All the other ones he's written, I can only vouch for this one, The Shadow of the Gods, and I think for me, 5 out of 5, hands down. So once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys once again on our next episode. Guys, feel free to comment and let me know what you guys think about this series. Tell me any more series that you guys are reading right now, and what I should read next. I am open. I have pretty much a free schedule of reading for the upcoming few weeks. So yeah, get back to me, guys, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Take care, y'all.